Loading and controlling video through ActionScript is fairly simple once you know how. This lesson will demonstrate ActionScript-driven video delivery through Flash. So here I have an empty FLA, and really the only thing we've defined here is a video playback class. And this is the document class for our particular document here. This class has already been defined up here, so we're going to switch over to that right now. Notice before we do that I actually have nothing on the stage, nothing in the timeline. Everything's going to be delivered through ActionScript. So clicking over to the video playback class, within our package definition, we have a number of imports. Firstly, we import flash.display.sprite in order to extend sprite for this particular class. Whenever we create a document class, we're going to need to extend either sprite or movie clip. Since we're not using any animation in the timeline, it makes sense for us to simply use sprite. We then import flash.media.video. This is the actual display object that the video will be shown through. We then have a net connection, so flash.net.net connection, and this is the connection to either a Flash media server or the local network. And then we have a flash.net.net stream. This is the stream that uses that connection to actually go and retrieve and deliver that video. So the video actually gets delivered over this net stream and presented through the video object. We then have flash.events.netStatusEvent, and this is used to check the status of both net connection and net stream. We also have flash.events.mouseEvent, which handles our clicks for us. And this we don't actually need. It looks like Flash Professional added that when I was mucking around in here, so we can just delete that. So then we have our public class video playback extends sprite. This is our main class here, and everything else is going to be inside this class. We declare a number of variables up front. So private var video is typed to video. Private var connection is a net connection. Private var stream is a net stream. And private var stream client is a simple object. The stream client is used alongside the stream to bind certain expected functions to it. And if you don't do this, sometimes you'll get errors and so forth. So it's a good idea to do it. So here's our constructor function, public function video playback. And the first thing we do is create a stream client. So stream client equals new object. And then we bind stream client dot on metadata equal to on metadata. On metadata is a function that is within this class that we're binding to an expected function on the client of the stream. And we'll see how that's applied later on. We create a new video right here. So video equals new video. And we set video.smoothing to true. This way, whenever we scale the video, it will smooth nicely and look really good. It won't look all chunky or anything. And then we set an event listener to our stage of mouseEvent.click. So whenever anyone clicks anywhere on the stage, it will fire this onClick event. And that's what we'll use to pause and play the video. Then we add child video. Add child is going to add our video object to our display list. And then we invoke the function initiate playback. Scrolling down here, we declare a new protected function, initiate playback, which returns void. We establish a connection as a new net connection, and then add an event listener to that connection of netStatusEvent.netStatus. When this actually fires, we will invoke a function called onNetStatus. And then we connect our net connection to null. Null in this case represents just the local machine we're on, the local network. And if we were connecting to a Flash Media Server instance, we would pass in the address to the Flash Media Server in here. So here's the onNetStatus function, so protected function onNetStatus, and we pass through that netStatus event and return void. And here we have a switch statement. A switch statement works by switching based on something, and we're basing this on the value of e.info.code. So this is something that comes back to us through this netStatus event. In the case that it is equal to netConnection.connectSuccess, what we will do is invoke connectStream. The reason we do this is because you have to have a net connection and able to actually create a successful net stream. So this ensures that we have that net connection. In the case that netstream.buffer.full, then we have enough information from the video stream to resize our video object. You'll notice up top, we don't actually position or size this video object anywhere. We simply just add it to the stage. So this allows us to set the width of our video object based on the stage width. And it also allows us to scale it along the y-axis in accordance with what we just did to the width or the x-axis. When we do connect successfully, we invoke connectStream, so protected function connectStream, returning void. And here we create a new stream, so stream equals new net stream, and we pass in that net connection. So remember, we have to have that net connection established first, or this won't work. We then add an event listener to our stream of type netStatusEvent.netStatus, and we invoke onNetStatus when that fires, and that's simply going to invoke this function up here once again. So this function is actually shared between both our net connection and our net stream. And you can see here, in this case is where we're looking for the actual net stream data, and here's where we're looking for the net connection data. We then set stream.client to streamClient. So streamClient is that object we established way up top where we set onMetadata equal to onMetadata. So this binds an onMetadata function to that object. And then here we actually set that object to the client property of our netstream. We then say video.attachNetStream and pass in that netstream. That's going to bind the display of the video to what's coming through the netstream. And then we say stream.play, and we pass in a string that represents the path to our actual video file. Here I'm loading in a MP4 file, h.264. So here is our onClick function that's invoked whenever we click the stage, and it simply invokes stream.togglePause. So in this case, if the video is paused, it'll play it. If it's playing, it'll pause it. So pretty simple. And lastly, here is that onMetadata function, which actually isn't doing anything. You could have it do something if you wanted to, but it simply exists in this demo case so that the application won't throw an error when we run it. So let's do that. Go to Control, Test Movie, Test. Okay, so we've loaded up our video and it's playing back. If I click, we can see the video stops. And if I click again, the video resumes playing. So this has been an example of how to load and control video playback within Flash Professional CS6.